for McGilded. Oh ho ho! Oh ho ho! Yes, referring to this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing on sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery here. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today. By which I mean... here. To Winterbank's pawnbrokery and today, the redemption deadline of that overcoat. We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet, in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. Though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. He asks the customer for the watchword, and notes down the response uttered on a notelet he has to hand. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. It reads, for McGilded. Ah, so you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Oh gosh. I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. Yeah, I'm gonna hold my ground. Absolutely not, sir. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of this case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Ah! He's getting away! What is up, ladies and gents? I am the Story-Driven Gamer, and welcome back to the channel. We are, of course, going to be jumping back into the Great Ace Attorney adventures. And last episode was a good one, where things are starting to kick off. You know, things are starting to, go in motion. But I'm not sure exactly where we're heading in terms of a case. But things are happening, and it got me excited, even just a little bit. I know it was a shorter episode last time, but we got to finish off the first part of the investigation. And it left us on quite a cliffhanger. So just to briefly recap, we got to continue with the deduction extravaganza. As usual, Sholmes was wildly off base, but we were able to, bring his deductions back on track and figure out what was really going on. So we figured out that Egbert Benedict, that's not his name at all, that he's using a fake name. We found the initials AG on his cane. I don't know if those specific initials are what's relevant, like if we're gonna if they're gonna talk about somebody with those initials and it's gonna end up being this guy, or or whether the AG is just to show that those obviously aren't his initials, or or his initials would have been EG, or sorry, EB, if if that was his real name. But other than that, he was in the shop the whole time. He had very detailed information about Gina Lestrade. And so he knew that she was going to be at that pawnbroker on that day, at that time. And so he followed her into the shop, and he was listening in when Gina was talking to Winterbank. That's how he also figured out what the watchword was. So he basically got all the appropriate information he needed to get his hand on that coat. Which in turn, that would allow him to get his hand on the disc, which I think is what he really wanted. I didn't mention this, I've completely forgot to mention this in my last recording, but he also implied, I think it was 2 episodes ago now, Egbert Benedict implied that there were actually 2 discs, and Winterbank was like, no, there was only one on the coat, it was just the coat and the 1 disc. So I wonder where that second disc went. Maybe Gina has it, maybe somebody else has it, who knows. So one of my theories I was thinking of, though, is, I don't know if it's so much a theory, but I think Gina Lestrade, I wouldn't be surprised, since she was involved in the Magnus McGilded case, and obviously that happened, and then he died, like, later that day, or maybe the next day. I wonder if Gina, during that trial, pilfered the coat and the disc, and then immediately went to the pawn shop to pawn it off, for storage reasons, and then she, obviously she just came back now, because it was about to expire. Yeah, I wonder if that's it, and maybe Egbert Benedict has been trying to locate it this whole time. So, yeah, that was the other discovery. We figured out, like, right at the start of the episode, at the very beginning, before I even continued, I decided to inspect the disc further, and we saw that it was from McGilded. So, that's another thing. also deduce that this Edgar Benedict guy is probably working for McGilded or is somehow associated with him. And then other than that, the episode ended with obviously once we figured that out, we weren't going to hand the disc over to him, so he pulled a gun on us. Benedict, that is. And he wanted us to give the disc back, but Inspector Gregson arrived just in the nick of time and was able to stop him, but he got away anyway. He just he did one of his super special moves, spun around and just disappeared. And then Gregson's like, what? He escaped. What the heck? So he's gone. They're gonna locate him. Gregson also hinted at some other case he's working on, some other important case. And we tried to kind of probe him a bit, but he wasn't, he's like, no, I can't talk about it. So there's a lot of mysteries still. We don't know who this Edgar Benedict guy truly is and what his motives are. We don't know what case Inspector Gregson's talking about. We still don't know about the telegram that Susato has, so there's a lot of things that will hopefully be explained shortly. And with that, let's get right back into it. 15th of April, Baker Street. That's right, we were just kind of kicked out of the shop. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from ya. Stupid adults. Oh really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? You know, the one you stole. What? Oh my. Surely you were given that. Yeah. Did he let me keep it? After I locked daggers at him for long enough? Okay, why? I think we've verified it's not hers either. He went through the pocket and said, go on then. Have it for telling me to scarper. Scarper? I guess that means scatter, get away. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them. I can't help feeling that's going to get you into serious trouble one day. Probably. You got some serious coin skills there. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc, mind? Yes, I'm aware. The question is why. It might have just been to pawn it off. The music box disc. Mr. Winterbank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go have another bash. Give him a long hard stare. I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Winterbanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Winterbank. But that is mine. I had the ticket for this coat, and it was in this coat's pocket. Oh yeah, that's right. Inspector Gregson took the disc. I'm assuming he's still in there. And there should be something else and all. That's what that rotten cove said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well then, that's mine too. Whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. Yeah. So, what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? Yeah, come on. Let's have a little feast, a little get-together. Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. Don't think about it. No, Ty. Oh. Why would I come round your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? A little bit. And she's off. Yeah, she's a little mad. Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled in me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. I hope so. I do like her. She's a fun character. I like voicing her, and I don't know, she's got a lot of personality and spunk. Interesting. She might have just been a little bashful. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Or not. I can't read minds. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry? Yay! I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting! What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Miss Susato. Until later, then. Aww. I thought maybe we'd have some new dialogue about the shop, but I think the only other place we have to go to is... Yeah, we can't go there. We can go straight to the suite, or we can go to the office. I think we're supposed to go to the suite. I kind of want to check the office first. Hey, Susato. Oh, that's right. That's not what I meant to do. I want to present this. I don't know if I talked to you about this. It means a great deal to me, you know. I think I might have heard this. They cherish his armband so and wear it each time you appear in court. Well, it's very important to me. It's what shows that I'm a lawyer. And whenever I wear it, I feel as though it gives me strength. Through Cosma. Yeah, I think this sounds familiar. I absolutely can't be without it, especially when I'm at a critical point in a trial. But just the other day, I noticed you wearing it when we went to visit that park. Sometimes I forget to take it off. Don't judge me. Okay, anything new to talk about? Can it really be that we've been in Great Britain for 2 months already? Yes, it's gone by in a flash, hasn't it? And what an English gentleman You trailed off there, Susato-san. I'm sorry. When I thought it through, I realized it's not all true, actually. You're kind of a bum. I simply don't feel that any Britishness has really rubbed off on you. I am Japanese through and through. Nor are you, to be honest. Well, that's obviously because... Yes, I know. Without a doubt, it's your kimono. That's what I was thinking. Nothing about her screams British. Which is funny that she... It's funny because in the English dub here, she has a British accent. But then again, so do, like, all my characters, whether they're British or not, so... It most certainly stands out. I do adore the attire of English ladies. It's quite delightful. But somehow, I just don't feel ready to abandon my Japanese dress just yet. I wonder how Susato-san would look in Western clothes. That would be interesting to see. Yeah, it would be. Maybe someday. Anything new to examine in here? We have to go back to the suite. '15th of April, 3:46 p.m., Sholmes' suite. Ah, Susie and Runo, come in, come in. Good afternoon, Iris. Haven't seen you in a while, it seems. That's because you took a whole month off. What's the matter with you? I know. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always? I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes. After all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess. Gina Lestrade? Look at those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? Should we spoil the fun? It's Ginny. Isn't that exciting? Oh, yeah. I had no idea. Who's that again? Oh, what a surprise. Yes, that's wonderful news. Yes. Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea. That's right, they did seem to be friends. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh, yes. That does sound like fun. Yeah. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, I'm gonna change the subject now. What's Mr. Sholmes up to? Ah, he's working. Hurley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg that you won't speak to me. Okay. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. Okay. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't remember us, to be honest. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Yes, I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Kinda. Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. She's definitely more mature. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Runo? You have ever such a funny look on your face? Oh, no, it's nothing. I did theorize that she shares the same last name as Professor Wilson from the very first case. So maybe we'll find out that was her dad. Because they did a couple times hint, like, we asked her about her parents and she said they're gone. So I don't know about her mother, but that would explain her father. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes? You're wondering? Am I right? How? How did you? I'm psychic. Oh, Runo, I can read you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. Okay, good to know, but first... anything new to examine? Hey, Sholmes. I know you told me not to talk to you, but what's up? So, Mr. Sholmes, what are you so engrossed in? Did you not hear? I am not here. Leave me alone. Of course you're not. I cannot think why the whole bed of the ocean is not one solid mass of oysters. So prolific the creatures seem. He won't even turn around and look at me. It's best just to leave him alone when he's in one of his moods like this. Yes, I can see that. He seems to be doing very important work. Oh, the violin's back. Now this really is Mr. Sholmes' faithful performing partner then. The Stravador, the Strappy's car, the Stratfarius. No, it's no good, it's gone. The virtuoso's violin they found in a pawnbroker's and managed to buy for next to nothing. After all we went through to get it back, he's just cast it aside on that chair, just like the other one. I was looking forward to hearing that beautiful sound it makes when Mr. Sholmes plays it. Yeah, but he's too busy right now. It does look rather sorry for itself there, doesn't it? Although, at least Wagahai hasn't attacked it yet, even if his eyes are saying it's only a matter of time. Meh! Where's little Waggy? I want to give him a nice little kiss. Okay, nothing new. So let us have a little talk with Iris. Let's talk about Sholmes first. I'm sure you've been wondering why is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents? Oh, she's got all serious. My mommy and daddy aren't with me anymore. I think she hinted at that once before. I outright said it. Mommy passed away when I was born. Oh, okay, so she's been long gone. And at around the same time, my father... well, he had to go to a faraway land because one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh. Interesting. Oh, wait, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a while, but that's right. The first case took place in Japan. That's gotta be him. That's gotta be him. There's no coincidence that they have the same last name. Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together. It is the same Wilson. It is his sidekick. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true, Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes, I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? See, I wasn't sure if Iris was this game's replacement. Like, if the Wilson that they were talking about was just Iris, but he actually did have an older sidekick, Dr. Wilson. And like I said, I still think it's the victim in the very first case, who is also, Wilson. And like we just found out, disappeared, or disappeared from London and went to a far-off land, which is probably Japan. So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father? And that's probably the guy who narrates the little cases, the beginning of the chapters. Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest, but that only made me want to look even more. So I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. Okay, so she didn't know about it until she looked at that. But then he told me that's when I found out that the author of all these accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. Okay, let's delve deeper into that. I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in, so it came as quite a shock. When Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy, it must have done. Aww. The little sad twinkle in her eyes. I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh? Well, she is very sharp. Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. So don't you dare try and put a fast one on me. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all these thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved the case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Yes, hence why he didn't remember us from the second case. Oh, I see. The other day was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. You gonna say that again? You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. There we go. I think that was his full name. I'm not positive, but it's gotta be. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Iris's father, who went to some distant land. Yeah, we were involved in that case, so we should be able to piece it together. Maybe I'm about to. And there's a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Here we go. Now we're getting that recollection. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Here we go. It's all coming together. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. And the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. And Iris does not know about it. Well, crap. Miss Susato? Yes? I think she came... Didn't she arrive in that trial too? She was part of that trial as well, right? I think we met her towards the end. She, came... Towards the end of the trial, she kind of came in with some decisive evidence for us. Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I'm not mentally prepared for it. I think that would be for the best. We're on the same page. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about Ginny. Ginny Weasley, I love Harry Potter. Okay. So, by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilda case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here, and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Aww. Oh, hee hee, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh, well, that's what happened to us. And I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh? There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means you've let You've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. Aw, at least you got a nice little gift. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Get off me, Iris! What are you doing? Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she does actually come. So had Iris already invited her to dinner before we invited her? So she got 2 invites. Yeah, that would suck if she just decides not to come. Oh, hello. Ah, my dear fellows. How good to see you. Haha. Now I'm ready to talk. Were you here this whole time? Eek! Mr. Sholmes. Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Ah, yeah, I was gonna ignore you. Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. You know how we are. Goodness, really? Oh my gosh. Do tell, Mr. Sholmes. Is your violin unscathed? What violin? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. How do you get dressed in the morning, Mr. Sholmes? Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, is that a music disc? The disc, obviously it's not the same one. There's no blood on it. Oh, another music box disc. No, not another disc, Miss Susato. This is the one Grexit demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilder's disc. Say what? Okay, I take that back. Oh my. Then, what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may well be even more adept at larceny. I could be a great criminal. Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. Along with Ginny. We'd rule the underworld. And Runo could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught. No. Right. Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting. She could write all our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, what are we getting ourselves into? I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Well, that was fun. Oh, now we can talk to you. So, take a look at my armband. I'm much up to you there, Mr. Naruhodo. Unofficial I may be, but I'm nevertheless a professional. I couldn't examine such a humdrum item for anything less than £5. Oh, no, I didn't really want you to examine it. I just wanted to ask if, my dear fellow, as a professional consulting detective, I couldn't possibly venture an opinion for anything less than £5. Okay, let's leave it alone. Are you perhaps hoping to purchase a new telescope in the near future, Mr. Sholmes? Indeed I am. As you know, it had long been an ambition of mine to discover a new star and name it for myself. Because your earthly stardom isn't enough? Okay. Let us converse. I don't understand. How did that disc convey in your possession? I thought Inspector Gresham took it back to Scotland Yard. Don't tell me he, like, did a little swap and, like, maybe he had another music disc on him for whatever reason, and he, like, swapped it out. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. Chocolate bar? What is that? That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. That's quite sad. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, lady fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be taking that, whatever it is, of McGilder's down to the yard, thank you very much. So, hand it over. Oh yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Okay, I remember you actually sounding like a, decent, reasonable, and decent citizen. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, you did, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. Okay. That's amazing. Oh, okay, so... Oh, interesting. So it's not actually the disc, then. He just recreated it? Okay, so the disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know? Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The sort of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary! You're so amazing, Mr. Sholmes! Carrying a pair of these on one person frequently proved very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. I do it all the time, don't you worry. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. Okay, are we going to be able to hear it? Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Believe it or not, it's the Great Ace Attorney Adventure soundtrack. Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. Haha, no idea. None whatsoever. This was a complete waste of time. I'll have you know. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Runo? No. I mean, I kinda do. Somewhat. Oh, we're getting into detail here. Inside a music box is a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Okay, it kinda looks like a hair comb. Kinda. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music box is to be invented using a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. Fancy. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce, and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. Okay, so I guess what she was showing us there was those were like music boxes that came, I guess, built in with a specific song. But now these discs are like a new invention where you can, you can swap them out so you can hear a whole array of different tunes and whatnot. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music even when no performer is present. Yeah, this is quite nice. I mean, I will say the soundtrack in this has been very good. It really has. I like the little music. It really reflects the time period, too. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. And we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. Yeah, they mentioned that before, like you can't just play it on any music box. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Ah, I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. Okay, so that's what he was doing over there. When he was pretending we didn't exist. But as you can hear, to no avail. Yeah, that sounds awful. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. No small feat. Every single one. That's Hurley for you. Always taking things too far. But, my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Oh, yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. I beg your pardon? What? Please no. Okay, let's talk about McGilded now. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected here again so soon. Yes. It's only been 2 months since that grisly case. I love how... I said this before, but I love how all these different cases are coming into play. I like that feeling, you know? Like, it's not just like... The cases don't feel one and done. Like, they're all coming back in some way. This is the 3rd case. We already harkened back to the 1st case with, John Wilson. I still have a feeling the last case, there's some loose ends that'll come back into play, such as that, you know, that one guy that was introduced that we never heard from again. The guy who was at, you know, at the same apartment that Natsume and the Garadevs were. Very intriguing. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Burned alive. Or, maybe not. He might have been dead and then burned. Look at that. Look at that, badass. What is the curse of the Reaper? No one knows, still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. Oh, so we don't have that anymore. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. That's a cool little shot there. Even though he successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. So, yeah, we are going back to this one in detail. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. These two. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. Is there a chance it wasn't McGilded? And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. Indeed. See, he has a black top hat. That's the top hat that Ryunosuke needs, not that white one. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Yay, is it time for dinner? Almost. Well, it's time to start getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? What do you want me to do? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Huh. Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Winterbank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Wait, of Iris's in pawn? Oh, right, the book. Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you as incensed as I was. Oh, yes. The idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Winterbank's storeroom, gathering dust. What an awful thought. My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it. More secure than a bank's vault. Probably not, but let's go with it. And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, no. Well, there may be the occasional mix-up. Caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now. Yeah, it was like 95% your fault, Sholmes. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I would love to read it. Isn't that what... I'm trying to think. Isn't that what this case is based off of? Like, wasn't the little blurb at the very beginning this story? I remember it had to do with a dog. Did she say something wrong? Ah, did I miss something? What's going on here? Yeah, I'm confused too. Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Susie, what did you just say? Nothing. You said, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Is she not supposed to know what the story is about? Was that not said? But, how could you know the full title? Well, that's... That's because Miss Susato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. That is true. But Runo, the Hound of the Baskervilles, it hasn't come out yet, right? Has never been published. What? When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't out to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why he said that you keep it safe. Until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see? So that's why the manuscript is at Winterbanks. And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Explain? I'm a little confused. How would she know? Ah! What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. I'm going to change the subject now. Yay, she made it. Miss Lestrade. Hello. This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going. Bye. Oh, that was quick. No, come back. No, wait, Miss Lestrade. Why did she think she wasn't welcome? We're just having a little chat. We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. So sit down. Haven't we, Iris? I'm not in the mood anymore. Go away, Ginny. Oh, yes. Just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right. Of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home. Iris looked like she was about to take Susie to the back and, like, shoot her. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some Mendelssohn? I won't take no for an answer. Meddlesome it is, then. Huh. If I must. Yay, Waggy! I missed you. Wagahai. Meow! That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome, and Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. You know, good wholesome things. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves, well into the night. Sounds fun. Oh, nighttime. 15th of April, 9:34 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Okay. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, Iris' cooking was truly divine. And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Let's try it! Let's not do that. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder? Does that have to do with the telegram? What's the matter, Susato-san? It's... Yep, I hope we'd learn about that. It's About the telegram I received. Ah. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. What? Summoned? What do you mean? Oh, would it be cool if he was summoned as for the jury? That would be cool. The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. What? Then we have to start preparing at once. Oh no. That won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone. Alone? Does it work that way? Can they send you a letter? You need to come. Alone. What on earth for? I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow. What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. I would like to go with you, but I'm feeling that's not going to happen. Knock, knock. Oh. Who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends. Neighbors. Iris, hello again. And Gina is with you. And Gina too. Welcome. Yes, Ginny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. Oh, we're having a little sleepover. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what? In particular? I've learned how to steal lots of things. All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful? Ah, you mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it. You know those Sly Cooper gangs? We could perform our own thieving ring. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour? I would like to know. Well, you see, I came to attend this. Oh gosh, you stole it, didn't you? Wait, what? That's mine. Hey, I still have it. Unless it was just entered in my... I wonder if I checked my core record if it wouldn't have been there. That would have been funny. That would have been a cool attention to detail. Oh my, however did you... I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh yes, I had forgotten. Silly me. Iris literally is a child genius. So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Ah, thank you. It has sentimental value. Alright then, good night. Yes, good night. Don't steal anything else from here. Huh. So this is your office, is it? This is your first time up here? What do you think, Ginny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too. Ha ha ha. Okay, you guys can leave. It seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. Yeah, it feels like she's trying to tell us something, but she's kind of just wasting time. Beating around the bush, as it were. I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Yes, I suppose she probably does. Ah, I can talk. Oh, I can investigate things now. That's okay. Let's do the spade first. Ryuno, what are you doing? Oh. Look, I'm not gonna steal nothing, alright? It's all junk anyway. Charming. I suppose just engage our guests in conversation, really? Okay, fine. Okay, that explains it. Now everything's gonna be checked off. Oh. Interesting, so I can just directly talk to Iris. So let's talk to Gina first. Gina looks very pensive over there. Are you alright, Gina? I was just thinking. That's all. Ow, I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yeah, thanks. Yes, you did mention that already. Do you like my coin? Get off, did I? Well, nothing else really springs to mind, that's why. What's wrong with this room exactly? I like it. It's a little messy, but it's got charm. Would you mind if I showed you this, Iris? It's just a boring little thing, really, but... Oh, believe me, I inspected it thoroughly when I stole it from you. I wanted to see if she said anything about that, but I guess not. Oh, I don't really like boring things. Ah. Looks like Japanese modesty is easily misinterpreted by young Western children. I mean, who does like boring things? No one wants to be shown something boring. Come to think of it, you're always introducing things with, this is boring, but it's a bad habit. You should stop it. I'll be sure to let the entire population of the Empire of Japan know on my return. So I can't help it. I always have to see if they have anything to say. Okay. Yes. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about, really, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This mantle script, or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Aw, she's all teary-eyed. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once, his partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? Dead. Really, very dead. He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. Like forever. Wait, what? So, I've never really met him. Oh. Right. Trying to think of it. I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. Okay, so now, maybe now I can talk to her and she'll tell us. But I guess we should continue talking about this first. Iris, this Hound of the Baskerville story. I take it that's another tale inspired by your father's accounts? That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow. From the other cases, I mean. Oh? How? I don't really know. But it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it, and I showed it the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that. Interesting. Oh, flashback. It pains me to say this after you've toiled over for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. But why not? It's one of my best works. I'm not at liberty to say. Not now. So please, do not ask me. Interesting, I wonder why. Could it be a case that's not really finished? Maybe something that's ongoing? I don't know. Alright then, I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I'll explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And is it right now? And that's how the manuscript that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Winterbank, isn't it? Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. Even though, because you are a child, but still. It's mean, that's what it is, keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Eh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must be been a very good reason. Maybe. Doubtful. I think so too. You lot are too trusting for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Adults are stupid. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. What? Why is that? Hurley's lying to me. Okay. On that note, let us pivot over to Gina, who I think has some stuff to discuss with us. Okay, there we go. Okay, your parents and Sholmes' lie. I guess we'll start with her parents first. I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Well, you must have at one point. Oh. I mean, they might have left her when she was very little or something. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us. From the minute we're born, not even our mums. Oh, Iris sad. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. No, I just really like Sly Cooper. He's my inspiration. Nah, diving's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. And that's how we all afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. You damaged child. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents, I mean. I always thought it'd make everything right. But I haven't listened to what Iris just said. It sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh. I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you always want to meet them. I guess that's true. It's true. I do want to see Daddy. So much. Oh, Iris. Okay, now let's talk about the lie. And why you think that. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he popped that manuscript or whatever, right? Yeah. But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. If that story was really in old Winterbank storeroom, there's no way something from halfway around the world, in other words you, could know about it. If Susato would tell us how she knows about it, that would go a long way. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ha! Ha! Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. Oh, you're making Iris all depressed. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Winterbank's. You'd soon see if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. He's a dunce, he's an idiot, but I don't think he's pulling a fast one on Iris. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. Okay, is that all? Good chat, ladies. Oh my goodness, look at the time. Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night, then. Watch Sholmes was like hiding under the desk there the whole time, like, aha! I heard everything. Iris, it's sure easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. But deep down, she's still just a child. That she is. Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night tomb, Naruhodo-san. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. More ellipses. Are we having a dream? Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? I was gonna stop it here, but let's see what's happening. She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home, but I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. Okay, what are we gonna see? What's this about? She's just hanging from the lamppost. Oh, goddammit. Oh. What? Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Winterbank's? Oh no. It's simple. If that store is really an old Winterbank storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh no. No, not really. Well, anyway, we must investigate. At once. Miss Susato. Are we going straight there? 16th of April, 1:14 a.m., Baker Street. Okay, we definitely can't end this now. The door to Winterbank's. It's open. And the lamp is burning. It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. Oh boy, what are we gonna see? Dead body? There's no one here. Oh yes, there is. Ah! Ah! Oh my gosh. I didn't get a good look at them. Two silhouettes. A tall somebody and a short somebody. The Garradebs? I don't know. Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! Oh gosh. What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo! Okay, sounds fine. But after them. Go! Right. I am on it. Okay, things are getting exciting. Blast! I've lost them. Hello, hello. What have we here? Is that Gina? Oh, it's a... The alarm was just received from the pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot? What utter rot. With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Winterbanks. Everything okay? Oh, we're getting a cutscene, I think. Ooh, he did not look good.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Narado.
Okay, he's still alive.
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door.
Okay. Oh, that's it. That's the back room. Yeah. We're gonna find Winterbanks back there.
Hurry.
Okay, what are we gonna find? I'm afraid. It's locked. Kick that door open. Or do that. Who is it? Oh, yep. It might be a murder and a theft. Somebody probably killed him and stole something from inside. Wait. Gina? Oh my gosh. Are they both dead? Is one knocked out? Oh, and you're gonna end it here. Yep. Yep. I mean, it's a good time to end it, but oh no, I want to keep going. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yes, save your current progress, please. Okay, goodness gracious. Okay, so we got... I don't know if Gina's dead. We saw Winterbanks, and I think I saw blood by him. Like, I saw blood under his body. I didn't get a good look at Gina. I almost didn't realize that. I saw it was a girl. And I mean, I assumed it was Gina, but I didn't get a good look. It took me a moment. I'm glad Ryunosuke confirmed, like, Gina, just in case I was second-guessing myself. But yeah, Gina's there. Are they both dead? Is maybe Gina's been knocked out? Maybe neither of them are dead? I don't know. But of course, they had to end it right there before we get any confirmation about the state of the bodies. I'm hoping Gina's not dead. I mean, no offense to Winterbank, but, you know, we kind of just met him. He's not like not some like substantial character that I'm attached to yet. But Gina, I like Gina. She can be a bit of a handful, but I do like her. So that was an interesting way to end it, because kind of this whole episode, to be honest, well, still we still learned a lot and, you know, some stuff, but it was much more lighthearted. You know, there wasn't, whereas like the end of the last investigation, things were really ramping up. Other than that, it's been us just going home, preparing for dinner, having a nice little dinner party with Gina and all that stuff. You know, it was more lighthearted, and then this happened. So there we go. I knew something would have to happen soon, like that would, you know, that would send us into some kind of case, and this seems to be it. So like I said, Winterbanks, I'm pretty sure it looks like he's dead. Gina, I hope she's not dead, but she could be. She might just be knocked out, maybe. Maybe she'll end up being a suspect. Like maybe, I mean, I don't know who knocked her out, but if Gina's alive, maybe she'll end up being the suspect of killing Winterbanks. Ooh, but it's getting exciting. I cannot wait to continue this. But we'll leave it here for now, obviously. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I've been enjoying it from the start. So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share the video, do all of the things. I would really appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys that are watching. So thank you. Once again, take care, and bye-bye.